You're listening to the Chinook Sports Podcast with your hosts, Nathan Bannerman and Robert Greer.
Number 47 for Boston. Well, guys, 5 minutes each for fighting.
Pinch hitter.
So the basketball porn hub yesterday. That's so cheesy. I love it.
Four is a pinch hitter. That one right off Alvarez. He's able to recover, stumbles to the ground, makes the play, and he is in pain. You heard him say, "Oh," as the ball hit off him. He was able to finish the play off. So that is not something you want to say, man, that ball was smoked.
Sure was.
No runs, a hit, one man left. Hopefully Alvarez is okay. Gurriel taking a look as he walks by. This is the play. Maybe off the thigh. Two for four is a pinch hit.
So, how's everything going this morning there, Nathan?
Well, I might sound like death, but I didn't get a 100-mile-per-hour baseball in the sensitive area, that's for sure.
I got to give Jose Alvarez a bunch of credit here. He actually went for the ball to make the play at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have dropped to the ground instantaneously.
Just watching the replay, I don't know how he was able to continue.
Well, he was carted off the field. And yeah, that was the game yesterday versus the Jays. And I guess that's, I don't know, I'd probably say that's a metaphor for our Calgary Flames, hey? What a way to go.
Yeah, I had a lot of things planned to say about this, but I don't know, the more I think about it, it's just the same thing every year. Teams got to be bigger, got to be tougher, and I'm not saying go out and sign guys that are 6'4", 250 pounds, or anything like that. But they just physically have to be. They just have to be tougher, Skill. Dylan Dubé, Johnny Gaudreau, tons of skill. Love how they stick handle. How quick they are. That's great. But they get pushed over real easily because Dallas is basically looking like they're 8 feet tall, 400 pounds.
And it happened last year against Colorado, too. They just physically dominated us.
Anaheim.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know what to say on that one. I don't know. It sucks being a Flames fan. Seeing I was super happy to see that they were up 3-0 going into the second, and then 7 straight goals. Like, you can't do that. Just was brutal.
Yeah, I feel there's going to be some big changes. I don't know what. I don't know where.
Right, yeah.
But, eventually, Brad Treliving's been with us since 2014. I think we've had, 4 or 5 coaches under his watch?
Yeah.
If that. Is there another? Is he gone?
To be honest with you, I've really liked Ward as a coach. I see it a lot on the Flames message boards that, get rid of the coach, get rid of this player, get rid of that player. And like you said, 5 different coaches with virtually the exact same team and the exact same results. Mm-hmm. Now we have to start looking at the players, not the coach. Mm-hmm. We can't be firing a coach every year, every 2 years. Mind you, Ward coming in was kind of a different situation than being fired.
Yes,
just due to, the racial comments of our previous coach. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really him taking over from somebody that essentially was bad at their job. Mm-hmm. And I really don't think Ward was that bad. I really don't. Like, we really have to start looking at the core of the team. Johnny Gaudreau, for sure, I would be putting a big question mark. Is his heart with the Flames?
Yeah. I saw a lot on Twitter. A lot of people blaming him, which is kind of funny because he scored last night.
Well, I was on the bandwagon last year.
Yeah.
After Colorado, I was like, yeah, he's too soft. He goes invisible when the games get tough, and we can't have that.
I actually thought he was really good last night. Created tons of chances. It was pretty much around the net all the time. I think he could have honestly had a hat trick.
Right.
Just the puck didn't bounce the right way, and it's just unfortunate. And the goaltending, I should have saved the tweet, but the goaltending under Tree Living, it's almost like 3 pages. Like,
yeah,
they just haven't had a starter since Kiprusoff.
Well,
and you can maybe say Jonas Hiller.
I'd actually,
but
like, after this series, I give Talbot another year or two. Like,
see, I thought that with Mike Smith.
To me, he held that team together. The team just wasn't playing in front of him. Like Mark Giordano, or captain, he looked old.
Yeah.
John Monahan, same stuff that he's always like, is he a number one center? Mm-hmm. And I think our biggest downfall of the series is losing to Chuck. I really do think that. He brings the energy of the team. The team rallies around him. Mm-hmm. With him out of the lineup, they just look flat. They gave away
I was going to say that's someone who fits the mold of just be bigger and tougher, right? He's not necessarily a big guy, but he plays bigger than he is, and he's tougher in puck possession and around the net. That's what they needed, and clearly missed it.
And he gets under players' skin too, like. Mm-hmm. But, you talk about bigger and tougher. We also have Mark Jankowski, too, right?
Right. I don't think he was in last night, was he?
I don't believe so. To be honest with you, I never watched the game. I told my son that whenever I watch, they lose. So for the good of the team, I took the sacrifice and not watched the game.
And in return?
They lost.
They lost.
So, yeah, maybe I should have popped in on the third period, but I was pretty much in bed, half asleep anyways. So, want to review our predictions?
I did well on the West.
Oh, you did very well on the West.
St. Louis pulls out 2 in a row, but I will say I'm not going to go back on my prediction.
Right.
But I do think Vancouver wraps it up. Like, whenever they play, I think tonight.
Yeah, they play tonight, and same with, I want to say, Montreal.
Philly.
That's right. Yeah, I think Philly's going to wrap it up tonight, too. I really do. They're a good young team. Mm-hmm. And as much as I said last week, a hot goaltender will get you far. A hot goaltender can only take you so far, too, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, another year without a championship for Price, and and it looks like we're probably going to be down to one Canadian team.
Yeah, I'm not going to cheer for Vancouver. I can't do it, but
neither can I.
Picks wise, prediction wise, I had Vegas in 5, Colorado in 5. I did say Dallas in 6. I said 6 or 7, but I did say 6.
Yeah, I got you down at 6.
On the East, I thought there was going to be more upsets. There was not. I was 0 for 3. I don't
damn.
remember who I picked for Philly and Montreal, but it's probably going to go 0 for 4 on the east side. But
you actually picked Montreal in 7.
did I?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a chance, but
Yeah. There's a chance. Nothing really was surprising in the East. Maybe apart from Washington and not the Islanders. That's the only thing I can think of. West, other than hoping for the Flames, nothing else was much of a surprise. Other than possibly the Vancouver and St. Louis series. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon of Vegas as always. So go Vegas. Yeah. Need to run up to Calgary and purchase a jersey.
yeah,
I know.
you should do it.
I know, right? Like I said, too bad you don't work on commission. So, next is the NBA. Most series have had 2 games played in their series.
Yeah. Toronto is up 2-0 over the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Game 3 is, so we're recording this Friday morning, just before 11.
Yeah.
So game 3 actually starts in about half an hour. So
okay. Milwaukee and Orlando tied 1-1.
Yeah. See, that's the trick series. Milwaukee's gonna win it in 5, but Toronto lost to Orlando last year in game 1 and went on to win the championship. So
right. Right. Okay. I got you there. Boston and my team, Philadelphia. Not looking good for Philly.
No, not at all. The Celtics they're like constantly a good team, and again, shown at this playoffs that they are a good team.
Yeah, obviously. Then we got Miami and Indiana. Miami's actually, up 2 games against the Pacers.
Yeah, Miami's led by Jimmy Butler, and he made a quote yesterday, and he said the reason he does well with Miami, because he used to play in Chicago and didn't really mesh well with the team there. But he said with Miami, he's not afraid to cuss anyone out if they do bad, and they aren't afraid to cuss him out if he does bad. So seems like a lot of chemistry working in Miami.
Right.
So you have been playing great basketball. You seem to be having fun out there. You're winning. What is it about the Miami Heat specifically that has allowed you to thrive at this level?
To be me. Get to cuss people out when they're not doing their job. They're going to cuss me out whenever I'm not doing mine. And we don't take nothing personal. It's on to the next play, because everybody knows that whenever I say something, I mean well. It may not come out the right way, but I mean well, and it goes that way across the board. You don't skip over people to get a message. You go right to them. And I think here, that's how they want it. We thrive like that. And, we play great basketball.
I guess off to the West, we got LA, Portland tied at a game apiece. I was actually listening to the Cavino and Rich show. When was that? It wasn't yesterday. It was Wednesday. And they had an actor on there, and he's a big NBA fan. And he really wants LA to lose the first round.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's a Knicks fan, but when he's in LA, he's an LA fan too. But ultimately, he is an NBA fan. So, yeah, I'm kind of on his side. I'm not really a fan of LA. Yeah, Portland. I'm kind of hoping they win. So, but we'll save that for our prediction segment.
Yep.
You got anything to add on that one?
Damian Lillard from Portland put up massive numbers in game 1. Of course, I can't find them now, but which basically, he if Portland's going to do well, he's got to put up. I think he put up 60 points. I think he put up 61 points in game 1.
Jeez, that's
and then LeBron and Anthony Davis combined to do what they do in game 2. But I mean, Portland has a chance. Portland's a team that's lost to Golden State, I think 3 years in a row in the postseason.
Yeah.
Now that Golden State's out of this, the Lakers are kind of their big hurdle right now. Because I think if they can upset LeBron and the Lakers, Portland's got a solid chance to make a run with pretty much, with no disrespect to the other teams, but not a whole lot of competition ahead of them, except for maybe the Clippers.
Right. So, yeah, I guess that's a nice little segue into the next series, the Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks, who are owned by my favorite shark, Mark Cuban. So, yeah. Any...
Kawhi Leonard doing Kawhi Leonard things in the postseason. However, he's matched by Dallas's Luka Doncic, who put up 70 points in his first 2 games, which I think is the most by any player making his playoff debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I think this, I haven't predicted anything yet, but this series is probably going to be one where a lot of people think Clippers are going to win, but Dallas never has really had that superstar. They've had Dirk Nowitzki, they've had Steve Nash.
Yeah.
But they've never really had, they've had, those guys are stars.
Who hasn't had Steve Nash though?
Toronto.
Okay.
But yeah, Dallas is a team franchise that just runs on stars, not superstars. They're not going to go out and spend millions and millions of dollars. They're just going to do fundamental basketball and kind of like Portland. If they can get past the LA team,
right?
Not much left for them to compete with.
Yeah, no, exactly. Denver versus Utah. Both tied at a game apiece.
Battle of the Rockies. Can we call it that?
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Is Utah close enough to the Rockies? I don't even know my geography right now, but
yeah, I'm not even sure, to be honest with you.
Okay, good. Good thing neither of us went to school for geography, I don't think.
Yeah, no, exactly.
This series...
Actually, okay, just an update on that. Okay. Utah and Colorado are side by side. Utah is just west of Colorado. So, yeah, we can call this the Rocky Mountain series.
Okay, that works. I don't see a championship coming out of this series. Obviously someone's going to win this series. I don't think whoever wins is going to make it to the finals. Jazz have Donovan Mitchell. He has performed really well. Nuggets have Jamal Murray as a Canadian.
Okay.
That's kind of all I got for that series. It's not one to write home about, that's for sure. But maybe they'll prove me wrong.
All right. So next series, the final series that we're going to talk about is the future, I guess, NBA champions, the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm just kidding because, yeah, just kidding on that one.
Storyline wise, this is kind of a fun series. Chris Paul used to play for Houston. Now he's with OKC. Russell Westbrook played with OKC for like, I don't know, I think it was like 10 years or something like that.
Right.
Had the infamous fallout with Kevin Durant when he signed with Golden State.
Yeah.
And now he's on Houston. I think they traded. I think it was a trade that was made between the teams, but I think someone called it a revenge series.
Okay.
So basically whoever wins, like if it's Chris Paul and the Rockets, they get revenge over the Thunder, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or however it all stacks up. But I mean, again, these two teams don't have Golden State in front of them. If whoever wins, could potentially be in that finals, but
right.
Again, it really depends on the LA series, like both of them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And yeah, as you said, they don't have to face Golden State this year. Nobody does, which is kind of refreshing, to be honest with you. Sorry.
No, and I mean, Golden State got the number 2 draft pick in the NBA draft coming up, so enjoy it now, NBA.
The number 2.
Number 2. Minnesota took number 1. But
way to hand over
Golden
championships,
State,
NBA.
Last time Golden State picked behind Minnesota, they got a guy named Steph Curry. So,
and
whoever Minnesota takes first.
And for those that
superstar,
and for those that don't know basketball, Steph Curry is Del Curry's son.
Yes.
Yeah. He's got a lot to prove before he can, step into his dad's shadow. So,
because 3 NBA championships doesn't prove enough.
Yeah, let's make it 6, and then we'll talk.
Oh,
okay. Okay. So I guess we're in for another segment of
Bannerman's bold but stupid predictions.
So, how do you like that one?
I like it. That's great. I'm glad. We should get that sponsored.
I know, right? Sponsored by Wheaties.
All right. Brooklyn Raptors are going to win. I think they win in 5, though. I think Brooklyn steals the game because they almost stole game 2. So,
right.
They can play, and the Raptors sometimes tend to play down to their opponent.
Yeah.
So, but I'm taking the Raptors in at least 5.
Okay.
Celtics, Philly. Unfortunately for you, I think the Celtics win it in 6.
Oh, you're actually giving them a few games. Nice to
know. Give them a few games. Okay. Sixers are still a good team. They have Embiid, Simmons. Team's not horrible.
Well, of course not. They're in the playoffs.
Exactly. And anything can happen in the Disney bubble.
I guess. Okay.
All right. Bucks and Magic. Bucks are going to win. That's a for sure.
Yeah.
And 5. I guarantee 5.
Oh, wow. Putting your money on this one, hey?
Yeah. All my money. My whole toonie. Here you go.
Oh, congratulations.
Heat and Pacers. I'm going with Miami. I think they take it in 5. I'll do 5 for them.
Okay.
West Coast, Best Coast. Lakers. I feel Portland's gonna put in another game. I think Lakers in 6. Yeah, Lakers in 6.
Okay.
Clippers, Dallas. I'm gonna take the Clippers in 7. Like that one's gonna go the distance.
Okay.
Denver and Utah, only because I have landed in Utah twice or been to Utah twice. I'm gonna take the Jazz.
It doesn't count if you were just at the airport, by the way.
Well, I have actually been to Salt Lake City once.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a tour of some of the temples there.
Okay.
And we camped there for a night on our way to Anaheim. So I have been there.
Okay.
And yes, I'm counting the airport as well. 2 times. Jazz in 6.
Okay.
And I guess the last series, Rockets and Thunder. James Harden, the beard, is just too good against anyone.
Yeah.
I'm taking them in a sweep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I'm on the same page with you as the Raptors. And with my NBA knowledge, this is just coming out of my ass. It really is. I really don't watch it, though I do like Philly, and I don't know. So yeah, I'll go with Raptors in 5. Make it painless. Boston in 4.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask. I'm going to actually go with the upset on this one. I'm going to say Orlando in 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Miami as well in 6. And for the West, I'm going to go with Portland.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in 6. I'm going to go with Dallas in 5. Going to go with Denver in 6.
Okay.
And I'm with you on Houston in 4. I'd like to welcome my son, Tice. A little bit of an introduction. He's a fairly decent dart player. Wound up 2nd in his age group in provincials. He was supposed to go to nationals, but unfortunately, COVID hit. So let's welcome Tice and his NBA predictions. Tice, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Want to get right into the predictions, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we'll start with the East, I guess. Let's start with the Raptors, Brooklyn. So I'll let you have it. Give me your predictions, and yeah.
Okay, so Toronto doing pretty good. So I think they're gonna win 4. It's gonna be a sweep.
Okay. Boston Celtics versus my team, Philadelphia 76ers.
Boston's gonna win Game 5.
In 5 games? Okay.
Yeah.
Milwaukee versus Orlando.
Milwaukee's gonna win in Game 6. I feel like Magic's gonna take 2 games, somewhere between there.
Indiana versus Miami to round out the East.
Miami in 4.
Now let's hop on to the West. So LA Lakers versus Portland Trailblazers.
LA in 6.
Clippers versus Dallas.
This one was a pretty hard one, but I'm taking Dallas in 7.
Denver versus Utah.
Okay. Nuggets in 6. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, not too crazy. Houston versus Oklahoma.
I don't know. I didn't want all my predictions to be sweeps, but Houston in 6.
Thanks, Tice, for your predictions, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon. That's been another episode of
Bannerman's bold but stupid predictions.
I mean, some of your predictions were bolder than mine, but
oh, come on.
What was also bold, good segue I'll work on those. CFL canceled. That was bold.
Oh, yeah, I don't, as much as it pains me, I guess we do have to kind of mention this. Yeah. Both of us have been season ticket holders for like years. Well,
yeah,
it hurts. It really does. Mm-hmm. I was prepared not to go to a game this year, but not seeing a game this year, to me hurts. But, a little backstory, the league wanted $30 million, zero interest, and they weren't opening their books. Any financial institution, which we would say the government of Canada would be in this, would not give out any loan if the league wouldn't show their finances and if they wouldn't show their books, right? Mm-hmm. So I put as much to blame on the league as I do the government, but in the long run, having a $30 million loan being paid back over 4 years, that's $7.5 million a season. And to be honest with you, I think the league's better off without it. Just sit down. Just sit it out this year. Mm-hmm. I think the right decision was made.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of with you on just weird not even seeing a game. I think my first game was like Thanksgiving weekend, like in like 94.
Right.
So
you've been going to games way longer than I have.
and like, even if, I mean, living in Calgary helps.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
But like, even if I was away, whether it be living in Manitoba or Florida or wherever I end up, like, I seem to always go to a game.
Yeah.
I don't think I've missed a season of just not going to at least one game. Because when I came back from Florida, I went to the playoff game with you.
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah. It was,
so
if I remember, it was quite a nice game, but you were dressed up like in all your winter wear and like you were so you were so adapted to the Florida weather that, -2, where Canadians feel comfortable in shorts and t-shirts. You were all, winter parked up and yeah.
But anyway, not the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they finally announced it, it sucked. Just because, just not being at a game, and not even just sucks for us as fans, but, the players have been very vocal on Twitter and social media about how things have gone. And I feel for them. I mean, I think some of the guys with bigger contracts are going to be okay. Like the quarterbacks, that's kind of your main position.
Yeah.
But what about, the
linesmen and,
yeah, the linemen, the receivers, defense. Nate Hawley got released to pursue NFL opportunities. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more of that once things kind of get figured out within the next month or two.
Yeah.
Because NFL teams are, the Patriots lost like 9 people to opting out of the season. So they want to have some sort of depth on their roster.
Yeah.
CFL guys are ready. Like, I think a lot of them are ready to just be like, hey, release me. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I want to go where money's guaranteed.
And I don't blame them either. You're an offensive lineman making $80,000 a season. All of a sudden, you don't have that income. But, even a lot of these guys do have off-season jobs, and I guess these off-season jobs are turning into kind of a permanent job this year. Mm-hmm. So it's, and I do feel bad for the players. the last couple of days I actually seen online that the players are actually going to get some sort of payment for missing the season, which is good. It probably is not going to match their wage. Any layoff, you get you basically get a fraction of what you make regularly, so that's not really a surprise. But at least it's something. The league did go to bat for them, which is nice to see. But other than that, they were going to play in Winnipeg in a bubble. Last I heard, it was going to be a 6-game season, then probably the regular 3 weeks of playoffs. I did the rough calculation in my mind. As soon as the CBA gets signed, as soon as the money starts flowing in, you have to inform the players, okay, give them a little bit of time to prep. And if it was the same thing as what the government would have done with the NHL, you'd have to self-isolate for 2 weeks prior to coming into Canada. Then when you get into Canada, you have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. And then you'd probably want to have a little mini training camp, which would probably last 2 weeks. So we wouldn't have been looking at a start of the season until beginning of October. And at that rate, 6 weeks plus 3 weeks of the playoffs, we'd be getting done early to mid-December. And this is in Winnipeg.
Brutal.
Right? Now, I don't mind some of those snow games. Some of them can be fun to watch, but the majority of them are absolutely brutal. So even with that, I think the league made a good choice not to move forward.
Yeah.
Even though it was kind of taken out of their hands too. So
yeah. And props to province of Manitoba for being willing and opening up their province for this to happen. It just shows how much football means to them, not only just for the city of Winnipeg and the Blue Bombers, but the whole 9-league team. Good for them. I think maybe I was talking about it with you or someone else, but where you get, the other thing too is where you're going to put all these guys, right? 50 people roughly.
Yeah. And
per team.
And even realistically, for this COVID, you don't have the tourism as you had without it, right? So even up in Edmonton, where do you put all these hockey teams? Too. So they had the hotel rooms available. I'm sure Winnipeg could have made do with the hotel rooms. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. And they would have found places. I guarantee it. Even if teams had to go stay in Steinbach, Manitoba, I'm sure they would have been quite fine with that, which is 45 minutes to an hour out of Winnipeg. They have hotels. Yeah, they would have found places.
But that leads into travel time in winter in Manitoba.
Yeah.
Right. Even something just an hour away, all of a sudden, could be 2, 3, 4 hours because, Manitoba's really got nothing to block anything, we at least have the mountains to change up the weather a little bit to be in our favor. Depends on how Mother Nature feels. Manitoba's got nothing. It's just, open prairie.
Yeah. Did you experience winter when you were in Manitoba, or was that just a summer gig?
No, luckily it was just the summer.
Okay.
But it was a brutal summer in terms of storms, tornado watches and warnings every like 2 to 3 days. Like,
Yeah,
I was okay leaving.
yeah, I have a good friend right near Brandon. And yeah, it's been brutal there this year from what he was saying. Like, a couple of tornadoes touched down. One of them killed a couple of people, and like, just, yeah, it's been brutal this year too. So, what else? So the NHL, starting the conference finals, are going to be letting family members into the bubble. Did you hear anything about that one? I think ESPN
I did
reported
hear a
that.
little bit about it.
So
I was that's cool. I'm assuming the families will have to do all that isolation.
yeah,
Because I mean, now obviously teams are getting eliminated. Hotel rooms are
opening up. Yeah.
So I'm assuming there's an isolation period. But how would that work, I guess?
They're going to be isolated and tested daily as well. And they can't stay in the players' rooms. They have to stay in their families' rooms. But, once you start getting into the bubble, everybody's safe. At least on an off day, they can interact with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a huge reward for teams making it that far, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see every family coming up, and that even begs the question, are we going to see family in the stands during games? Like, if they're clear and if they're COVID free, I can't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, that would actually be kind of cool because then, like, wives or girlfriends or whoever bring kids up and whatnot, like it's all going to be so themed to each individual player.
Yeah.
So they all make signs or something for their dads or uncles or whoever.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would actually be kind of cool. A little different outlook and a little positivity in this time when a lot of people can't see their families, even just, living not in the spotlight of the NHL.
No, exactly. And yeah, as soon as I read that, I'm like, that's actually fairly decent. And by then, I think starting the conference finals, everything's going to be played out of Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, I thought that was really nice of the league to actually discuss that with the city of Edmonton and for all parties to allow it. So,
And it brings in a little bit of money into Edmonton, a little bit extra cash.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'd like to see the NBA do it too.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I think they talked about it because like families can obviously go to Disney World, or Universal, wherever they choose.
Yeah.
Because those parks are open, but they obviously can't get into the bubble, but they can be in the area.
Right.
So maybe if you, I saw a picture, one of the NHL referees was celebrating his birthday, I think. And they opened up the bubble a little bit so that he could see his wife and their dog.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So maybe the NBA does something like that a little bit, just to kind of ease everyone into it. I mean, whoever's watching the kids will have to make sure they watch the kids.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because the temptation to run and hug your dad is high.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him for at least I think the NBA's been at this since July.
Yeah, they've
beginning of July, I think, or mid-July or something.
They've been at it for longer than the NHL, but they just had a different way of doing things. NHL was just basically playoffs, qualifying for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And NBA was like essentially finishing out their season.
Mm-hmm.
So, for everybody that was still eligible for the playoffs.
Yeah, eligible, able, yeah.
So that, you didn't have any Golden State Warriors with that big EB right in front of their name. So.
Yeah, but the number 2 overall draft pick.
So I have to ask, when did they get that EB, like, right beside their name? Was it, like, mid-season?
Yeah, it was pretty early. Earlier than they've ever been eliminated. Well, I shouldn't say ever. Earlier than they've been eliminated in the last, 5-6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So, it's... But the thing is they're going to have a healthy Steph Curry, healthy Klay Thompson, the number 2 overall pick, who should be NBA ready at this point in their college career. Rumors are star from Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They want to sign him. So, but also Toronto apparently wants him. Be a little bit of a bidding war, but I don't know. I think Golden State's basically just reloading. Like, there's no rebuild. They just let all their youngsters play.
Yeah.
Because what else can you do, right? You lost all your stars, so see what you got in the system. And I mean, they still won 15 games. Like, I mean, I know that's not a lot, but could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
I mean, Cleveland Browns and Detroit Lions go 0-16 like every other year. So,
well, talking about the Warriors, the Raptors, Fred VanVleet actually became the first Raptor player to record a 30-point and 10-plus assists in a playoff game. He joins Damian Lillard, your boy, Steph Curry, and Chris Paul as the only NBA players to record that, that stat. So, congratulations on VanVleet.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet's probably one of the most underrated players on the Raptors, but I think almost all the Raptors are underrated. I mean, you got Pascal Siakam, who won Most Improved Player last year, who could probably win it again because his stats just went up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the team wasn't expected to do well. Like, they were like, oh, you got Kawhi, you won your championship, you're done.
Yeah.
But they said, we're not done. We'll win with Kawhi, without Kawhi. And here they are.
Yeah, no, they're definitely a good team, that's for sure. So
I hope the Flames figure out their stuff, man. I can't handle another first round or no round. Like, we should have just lost to Winnipeg, because now I think they picked 19th in the draft. Like what's pick 19 gonna do? Like, they hardly have any success in the later rounds of picking. Like, with Kachuk, Sam Bennett, who's actually matured to his potential in a different way. I think a lot of people thought he'd be like that, 50 goal scorer kind of thing, but now he's just turned out to be a grinder and like comes to play every night, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kachuk, obviously, hopefully he's okay. I think it was a concussion. That he got.
Like, they didn't really say anything.
They didn't. I saw a replay yesterday. They were like talking about Kachuk and like showing him all game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the gifs of him tossing his hat.
No.
after Dallas scored like goal number 800 or whatever it was. But whatever it was, I didn't like. I love handshake lines.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the coolest thing in sports.
Yeah,
is the NHL playoff handshake line. I didn't even watch that. As soon as Dallas scored 6, I was like, I'm done.
I a lot of the fans, I'm pretty sure were like that. It's like 6. What the hell? Like 6 unanswered goals.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? Like, and this was the second lead that they blown this, like, during the series. It was just brutal.
Yeah. So hopefully they get it sorted out. I think a lot of players are going to be open to be traded. Like, not that they want to be traded, but I guess available.
Right.
I don't think anyone's untouchable except for maybe Kachuk.
Yeah,
and maybe some of like the young guys, maybe Dubé, Mangiapane kind of thing. But I think a lot of the core.
Yeah.
Like if there's a team out east that says, "Hey, we want Johnny Gaudreau. We'll give you a couple firsts, couple top prospects. Like we feel we're close enough."
Yep.
Like maybe Philadelphia, if they maybe like let's say they make the Stanley Cup but don't win it, because Johnny's from out east. Like he'll sell jerseys out there.
And
guaranteed.
And a couple of years ago, that's what he said he wanted to play out east before his playing career is done. So, like,
well, his wish might come sooner than later.
And I've always wondered if is his heart really in Calgary? Like, that's always what I've been wondering about him ever since he made those comments. And people have, people don't like when I say it like that, but I don't think his heart is in Calgary. I personally want to see him gone sooner rather than later. And with 2 years remaining on his contract, why wait until the year he becomes an unrestricted free agent? If he has a couple of years left on his contract, trade him now. You'll get more in return if you trade him now. And Monahan, I like the kid. I thought he was going to be our next captain. I actually still like him better than Johnny. But what did he have last year? Like dual hip replacement surgery?
Oh yeah, he had something. I can't remember last year.
And like how?
Yeah,
how long is that going to last? Like, I do like him. I do like him as a Flame. I don't like how he turns invisible every now and again, but I think a lot of it has to do with how Gaudreau plays as well. I'd like to see him play with Tkachuk.
Sure.
Hanifin is another one that I don't want to see leave. Here, let me bring up the roster. There's a couple of... crap, that's the NFL. There's...
I would like to see Elias Lindholm stay. I thought he's done really well in his time here. But I could see Gio maybe heading back to the Ontario region.
Right.
Like, and I'm not saying I hope these happen, right? Like, I'm a nostalgic guy.
Yeah.
I love keeping guys together and, appreciating what the Giordano family did during COVID, like buying laptops for people, groceries, like just randomly, like they're, very community orientated. So like, in that sense, like them leaving would suck, but I mean, you can't keep everyone just because you like them.
No,
and
exactly.
I've learned that being a sports fan for 26 years, but I like, he is from Ontario, even though Calgary's his home now, but I mean, Toronto might need some help.
Yeah.
Ottawa needs a lot of help.
We could, we could probably save this for the next episode, have, a little bit of time to digest. Maybe we could grade each player on the roster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
And see if, they'd be potentially
we can do
traded or
the Calgary Sun.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Do what the Calgary Sun does every year.
Yeah.
Trade him,
Or keep
give
him.
him a raise,
Yeah.
or just keep him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's plan that one for episode number 3.
Yeah, I'm down. So in other baseball news, Thom Brennamen, Cincinnati Reds play-by-play announcer, he got caught with a live hot mic, and I think he might have gotten fired on air. We have his apology.
Well, and here's the thing. So we'll bring up his apology, but I really don't want to bring up what he said on air.
No.
It was, a homophobic slur, if you might want to call it that. So let's play the audio, and do want to give him a little bit of credit, but we'll play the audio first and then we'll talk about it.
I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I want to apologize for the people. I pride myself and think of myself as a...
So yeah, from what I've seen, he's been suspended. I'm not sure if he's been outright fired. Yeah, I guess that's why you don't say anything when, I guess, you're not sure if you're live or not.
Yeah, and he sounded confident in the words he used.
Yeah.
There was no stutter.
No.
It was bold. It was out there. And,
yeah.
I mean, good on him for, I'm going to ignore his apology, but good on him for basically acknowledging the fact that he was done, right? I don't think anyone's going to hire him. Well, I shouldn't even say unfortunately. I don't think anyone's going to hire him because that's now, in this day and age, really it should be in any day and age, but especially in this one, teams, companies don't want that. They don't want to be associated with that.
No.
And, like he said, he's like, I don't even think I'm going to put on this headset again for this team or the company.
Yeah.
And like Fox is a huge company.
Yeah.
Like they cover baseball, NFL, NASCAR, and I don't think NHL is going to want that.
No,
in any way, shape, or form. Good luck.
From what I've been seeing online and from what a lot of other broadcasters and people around Cincinnati have been talking since then, it is out of the realm for him, and he does a lot for the community. Well respected in the broadcasting world. So I think just give it time. He'll be back as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What he said was wrong.
What he said was absolutely wrong. And unfortunately for him, I guess you could say, is it was caught, and I think that's more where this is coming from.
Yeah.
Is, he got caught, and is what it is. And a lot of people aren't going to, look into his life,
No.
He could be the nicest man on earth.
Yeah.
But you said a couple words that nowadays are not good. You shouldn't say those words. And
well, it was
done.
only just the one word that he said. Like that one that one derogatory word. Like, but he shouldn't have said it. If you have a microphone close to your mouth, always assume that it's live. As far as I'm concerned, like
I think that was the number one rule in broadcasting school was when you're beside a mic, always assume it's on.
Yeah. Well,
You always want to be your best.
I have never gone to broadcasting school. You're the broadcasting school graduate. As you said, always assume you got a live mic. And coming back from commercials, dead air.
He apologized.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally don't think he's gonna be back anytime soon.
And I was like, during the apology, I was impressed that he still called a home run during his apology.
I do like the way he said it. He was like, that's a home run.
Yeah.
It kind of sounded like he was like, I don't know if I should even be saying that this is a home run, but I'm going to anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. On behalf of my co-host, Nathan Bannerman, this is Robert Greer, and I would like to thank everyone for listening to episode number 2 of the Chinook Sports Podcast.